This is a mini lesson analysis on Marth versus Fox. Ah, so you're playing a Fox that's very passive. And one of the big mistakes that I'm seeing you kind of make right off the bat is that you gotta play a lot closer against these guys because when these guys are playing like the very runaway go to platforms kind of style, you got to give them cues that makes them think that they can hit you. And if you are playing as far as away that you currently are, where like there's actually no way they can hit you, then you're not giving them any incentives, and you're also giving them passive damage of lasers. You might think that like, oh, the way I could win is like just by calling them out with down tilt forward smash, and yeah, kind of. But like when you're closing distance from far away, it's kind of hard to do that. First of all, and second of all, like if they are experienced fighting, like if they have like depth of their runaway game plan, then they can stuff out your preemptive approaches. And one way to kind of just deal with that is by taking the middle approach, where you make it look like you're about to forward smash, but then like you wait dash back last second, or like you slowly take space and see how they respond to that. And until you do so, like I can't tell you how this fox would respond, but that's what I would personally do once, like, from this first 5 seconds, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. Like, you gotta exert a little bit stronger pressure than playing it overly safe, as you are doing here. Play a lot closer. Like, trust me, it's they are playing very passive, and the way to beat passive gameplay is at least exerting a lot of pressure and not giving yourself such free, like you want to preferably put yourself in relatively lagless pressure, because the way how you are exerting pressure is through very high commitments with, like, rising fair, shield grabs. Like those are not the way to that's not the most effective way of pressuring your opponent. You technically kind of are, but it's you technically are pressuring your opponent. You're just like, it's just not high EV for you. As you see here, like, he's effectively running away from your dash attack range. You're trying so hard to hit him. And what if instead of committing to all of these, instead of this down tilt, you just sit there and watch, then he might hit you. Or, if you do this multiple times where you close space and like they don't bite, then that's when you take space, and then you go for something like rising fair. Once you close the space, because otherwise you're kind of just skipping steps again, where like you just skip straight to the I'm just gonna hit you mode, and that's like when you do it from far away, it's pretty easy for them to react, and you really only want to hit them once you've closed the distance. That's also the other benefit of pressuring first, is that you get more leeway with how you hit. Like the way how you hit them is a lot more ambiguous. So that's like by far the biggest thing, is that you just want to close the distance. When they are doing the platform things, it's certainly a little bit harder. But one benefit that if you see that they're very passive is you could always just throw out like a full hop nair or like a fade back bear, and they're relatively safe. You just don't want to throw that out until it's very clear that they're just camping. So for like the platforms, you just want to throw out some, like the top platform in particular, you want to throw out a full hop nair or bear to just like be like, all right, man, like you're just sitting there, you're gonna have to eat this, because they can't react to like a full hop bear or a full hop nair. Otherwise, you want to like, I would before I go for that, I check with like a dash dance, up tilt, short hop falling up air, and if they don't bite with that, then that's when I skip straight to like full hop nair and bear. For the side platform, I dash dance in center and just like cover myself with fairs. And if they don't bite when you dash dance in the center, and protecting yourself with fairs, that's when I start taking space a bit, see if they bite, and if they don't bite, then that's when I start doing like nairs on the side platform, late fairs sometimes, and that is usually very effective. That's how I would deal with like the platform stuff. Um, at the moment, I feel like for platforms, oh yeah, well you got him there, so that's big. That's like sometimes it'll work, and also like you just have to hit hard. and try to like cover a bit more of your flow chart. Like here, you could have short hop back, check if they go to edge, and then when you confirm that they go straight up instead, that's when you could just walk up F tilt or forward smash. Yeah, also maximizing your punishes against these kind of players is very, very essential. There, nice. So yeah, for like the platform stuff, I think if you just wait a few beats and then like you just directly hit him, that's a good way to play the platform kind of plays. And for the grounded stuff, it's playing like covering, taking space and pressuring from that is the way to go. Yeah, and at the moment, I just think you're playing way too passive. And in addition to playing passive, you are attacking so far away, and that's what they want. They want you to attack really far away. Yeah, there's unfortunately really not too much to say here, but it's not like this player isn't gonna approach at some point. You see how he saw you go in and then he interpreted that as like going up a dash attack. And that's kind of like the idea of taking space, is that you're giving them a cue that them going in might be a good idea, but you cancel that cue with like, dash back, shore hop, etc. Yeah, and also like just being a little bit tight with your threat range, spacing goes a long way. This also requires, by the way, knowing good amount with like their range spacing and all. Always be aware about their furthest threat range. But yeah, attacking too far away. Yeah. Watching this is a little bit painful, but in a way, this is also good practice for fighting really campy floaties in particular. Like, it's rare to fight like this type of Fox player, although it's not like it's non-existent. Um, it's actually really good practice to know how to play this way of pressuring when it's a floaty, especially a puff in particular, where the platform stuff is a little bit more nuanced against them, but the same concept applies. It's just that it's more vertical rather than just like because if you try to like full hop fair puff every single time, like you're dead. Like that will not work out well. So Puff's a little bit more nuanced, but she is by far the most likely character to just try to camp you. And yeah, I mean, that's just they sometimes do that and they think they're so cool, and I'm telling you, this is where pressure really comes a long way.